12 genius DIY stone art that instantly boost curb appeal. Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to Earthly Delights, your cozy corner on the internet where we celebrate the little joys of nurturing life, right in our homes and gardens. Whether you're someone who whispers to your houseplants in the morning sun, loves the feel of damp soil under your fingernails, or dreams of turning a simple fence into a living work of art, this space is truly yours. Today, we're diving into something magical. 12 genius DIY stone art ideas that can instantly boost your curb appeal. But more than that, these are projects that touch the heart. They're perfect for you if you find happiness in crafting, believe that every pebble holds a story, or simply want to make your garden smile back at you. So settle in, let your imagination wander, and by the end, I promise you'll see your outdoor and indoor spaces with brand new eyes. And hey, if you enjoy exploring soulful, down-to-earth ideas like these, don't forget to subscribe to Earthly Delights so we can keep growing together. Part 1. Stories in Stone, From Walls to Walkways. Let's begin our journey with stories written not in ink, but in stone. Imagine stepping outside and seeing gentle spirals of river rocks guiding your path, or delicate mosaics blooming across your patio wall. Each design here is more than decoration. It's a quiet chapter of your life, told right in your garden. Ready to discover how your hands can turn humble pebbles into living poetry? Let's dive in. 1. The Whispering Spiral. Picture this. A graceful spiral made of smooth river stones, curling gently across a patch of bare earth or nestled beside your favorite potted ferns. It might look simple at first glance, but stand there for a moment longer, and it begins to speak. This spiral invites you to slow down, breathe, and follow its curves like a soft meditation, right in your backyard. For those of you who cherish quiet moments with your coffee among your houseplants, or find calm in arranging tiny succulents on a windowsill, this stone spiral is like bringing that same tender ritual outdoors. It doesn't demand much, just a few well-chosen stones and your willingness to place them with care. Soon, it becomes a living story, one that shifts a little with every rain, every footstep, every passing season. And when guests wander by, they'll pause too, feeling that hush of wonder, all because you took a handful of stones and turned them into something beautifully alive. 2. The Secret Stone Storyboard. Now let me show you something truly personal, a secret stone storyboard. Think of it as a way to tell your family's tale, your garden's journey, or even little dreams you hold close to your heart, all through carefully arranged pebbles on a rustic wooden plank. Maybe you paint tiny symbols on each stone, a sun for hope, a tiny house for belonging, a swirl for adventures yet to come. Or perhaps you simply use stones in different natural shades to map out a winding river or a blooming tree. Mount this board on your patio wall or lean it against a shaded garden nook where it catches the eye and sparks curiosity. This is perfect for those of you who love crafting inside with houseplants and driftwood, then stepping outside to let nature finish the story. Best of all, it's completely changeable. As your life shifts, as new chapters begin, you can rearrange or repaint the stones, so your garden grows not just in flowers, but in memories too. 3. Bloom where you're planted. Pebble daisies. There's something endlessly cheerful about daisies, isn't there? Simple, honest, a quiet celebration of life. Now imagine bringing that charm to your fence or garden wall with clusters of pebble daisies. Flat white stones become delicate petals, darker round ones form warm, welcoming centers, and if you're feeling playful, you can add tiny green river rocks for leaves or even paint little curling vines behind them. This is for those of you who smile each morning when you spot a new bud on your indoor monstera, or whisper encouragements to your herbs on the kitchen sill. Because with pebble daisies, you're not just decorating a space. You're giving your garden walls a chance to bloom all year round, without worrying about watering or sun. Arrange them in lines, scattered dances, or swirling patterns that seem to skip along the wood. Guests will stop to look closer. Children might reach out to touch them. And every time you walk by, it'll feel like a gentle promise that joy is always ready to blossom. Part 2. Bringing creatures to life. Now let's add a little magic. Tiny stone creatures that bring character and surprise wherever they appear. This part is for those of you who see faces in tree bark, who name your houseplants or who secretly hope a bird might land nearby just to say hello. With a few thoughtful touches, you can turn simple stones into wise owls, fluttering butterflies, and charming birds that fill your garden with quiet stories. Let's explore how. 4. The guardian owl. Imagine wandering into a shady corner of your garden and spotting a wise old owl perched quietly on the wall, made entirely of pebbles. Round stones form its plump body, smaller ones craft curious, watchful eyes, and maybe you add a few gentle brushstrokes to suggest feathers or tiny claws gripping a pebble branch. This is more than cute decor. For those of you who give names to your philodendrons or find yourself talking to your pothos on tough days, this pebble owl becomes a little guardian spirit for your outdoor sanctuary. Surround it with driftwood twigs, tiny stone mushrooms, or even a sprinkle of moss, and suddenly your garden feels like a hidden woodland glen. And if you want to tell a bigger story, why not add a family of owls? Big ones, small ones, each with their own expression, turning your fence or shed wall into a playful, heartwarming scene that makes guests smile and keeps your personal wonder alive every time you step outside. 5. Butterfly pathways. Now let's take a gentle turn from watchful owls to something lighter, fluttering butterflies. Instead of only decorating fences, imagine crafting delicate pebble butterflies that dance along your garden path or cluster on the edges of your favorite planter boxes. Use soft oval stones for wings, tiny darker pebbles for bodies, and let thin twigs or painted lines hint at graceful antennae. This idea is perfect if you adore watching butterflies visit your outdoor blooms, or if your windows are already dotted with potted flowers that seem to call them in. Lay these butterflies in little groups along stepping stones leading to your door, or perch them around the rim of a large pot by your porch. Each one turns a simple walkway into a quiet celebration of life's gentle beauty. And if you add a few hidden among your ferns or herbs, it becomes a playful treasure hunt. Tiny surprises waiting to be found, making your everyday stroll feel just a bit more enchanted. 6. Pebble bird poetry. There's something soothing about birds. They remind us to pause, breathe, and maybe even sing a little. Now imagine creating your own gentle flock from smooth stones, arranged right on your garden wall or nestled among planters. Use oval or teardrop-shaped pebbles for plump little bodies, tiny ones for beaks, and slender twigs or painted lines to craft delicate branches. For those of you who keep feeders outside your kitchen window just to catch glimpses of feathered visitors, this idea feels like bottling up that joy. Try making a night and day mural. On one side, soft grays and moonlight stones with tiny star accents. On the other, warm sunbursts with golden pebbles. It's a story of your garden from dawn to dusk. And the beauty? These birds don't fly away. They stay perched exactly where you place them, whispering calm into your space. Guests will pause, children might invent little tales about them, and you'll find yourself smiling every time you catch sight of these quiet, stone-born songs. Part 3. Touches of symbolism and hidden meaning. Now let's wander a little deeper into designs that hold quiet truths and gentle reminders. This part is for those of you who see your garden as more than just a space. It's your personal retreat, a living journal where roots run deep and dreams take shape. Here, stones become more than decoration. They turn into symbols of growth, resilience, and the quiet magic flowing all around us. Let's uncover these soulful creations together. 7. The Tree of Life reimagined picture standing in your garden, greeted by not just any tree of life, but one crafted from stone. 3 slender trunks woven together, symbolizing your family, your hopes, or even the different paths your own life has taken. Each trunk rises strong and graceful, spreading into branches dotted with smooth pebbles that hint at leaves, blossoms, or future fruit. Tuck in tiny glass beads or bits of polished shell to shimmer like dew or early morning sun. This is for those of you who talk to your plants as old friends or trace the veins of a leaf with your fingertips, marveling at how nature quietly keeps growing. Mount this design on a broad garden wall or even build it across several panels. You can rearrange as seasons change. It becomes more than art. It's a promise of resilience and renewal. Guests will be drawn to it, but you'll love it most in quiet moments alone. Standing there with your morning tea, feeling your own roots sink a little deeper into this sacred living space. 8. The Wind Dance Tree. Now let's breathe a little life into your walls with the wind dance tree, a design that captures the poetry of a gentle breeze forever caught in motion. Picture a slender trunk made of smooth driftwood or stacked stones, its branches arching to one side as if swayed by an unseen current. Tiny pebbles become scattered leaves, tilting and tumbling along graceful arcs that seem to flutter right off the wall. For those of you who pause to watch your indoor spider plants sway when the fan kicks on, or smile when sunlight makes your pothouse dance, this outdoor piece brings that same delicate energy to your garden. Weave in fine copper wires that catch the sun and sparkle like fleeting gusts, or tuck bits of moss and bark to soften the scene. Place it on a narrow fence or the side of a shed where the movement draws your eyes upward. It's more than decoration, it's a breath of fresh air, a reminder of how beauty often comes from letting go and allowing nature, in all her playful grace, to take the lead. 9. Celestial garden panels. Let's turn your garden into a tiny piece of the cosmos with celestial garden panels. Portable art boards adorned with stone suns, crescent moons, and tiny pebble stars. Imagine stepping outside in the evening, your garden bathed in twilight, and finding these gentle night sky murals leaning against the fence or hanging under the eaves. For those of you who love to sit among your potted ferns under string lights, or who gaze at the moon from your porch with a heart full of wonder, these panels bring that dreamy atmosphere right into your green sanctuary. Use pale river stones for moonlight, golden tiles for sunbursts, and sprinkle tiny dark pebbles across a painted backdrop like scattered stars. The best part? You can move them. Change their spots with the seasons, or bring them indoors during colder months to keep a piece of your garden's magic alive inside. Guests will be drawn to their quiet shimmer, and you'll find new stories every time you let your eyes wander across this handmade little universe, crafted entirely by your own hands. Part 4. Playful, personal, unexpected. Now let's sprinkle in a bit of whimsy, those delightful touches that surprise you around a garden corner or peek out from under leafy pots. This is for all of you who giggle when you spot a new leaf unfurling, or who secretly tuck tiny trinkets among your houseplants just for the fun of it. Here, stones become playful storytellers, adding laughter and charm to your home's green spaces. Let's see how a few simple pebbles can bring out your garden's joyful soul. 10. The Story Pebble Collage. Imagine walking along your garden path and spotting small stones, each carefully painted or inscribed with a single word. Joy, grow, patience. Arranged together, they become a living poem scattered among your flower beds or nestled at the base of a favorite shrub. This idea is perfect for those of you who clip tiny bouquets from your indoor violets just to brighten a friend's day, or who keep journals full of garden sketches and hopeful plans. Each stone becomes a quiet mantra, a little nudge from nature itself. Cluster them in old terracotta bowls, tuck them under a leafy overhang, or line them up along the edge of your patio. Change them out as your seasons change. Words like rest and warmth in winter, bloom and adventure come spring. Guests will pause to read them, smiling at the tender wisdom spelled out in stone. And for you, it becomes a gentle, grounding ritual, an ever-evolving story that your hands, heart, and garden write together. 11. The peekaboo critter. Now, for something downright delightful, tiny pebble critters peeking out from unexpected places in your garden. Imagine a little stone frog with bright painted eyes hiding beneath a hosta leaf, or a miniature snail crafted from a spiral shell perched on the rim of a clay pot. Each one feels like a playful secret waiting to be found. This is tailor-made for those of you who give your houseplants nicknames or tuck tiny figurines into your indoor planters just to make yourself smile. Outdoors, these critters bring that same sense of wonder to life. Scatter them among your herbs, let them climb up a stack of stones near your back door, or hide them between clusters of moss so guests have to lean in and look twice. Even children will be enchanted, inventing stories about these quiet little guardians. Best of all, each time you wander through your garden, watering, pruning, or simply breathing it all in, you'll catch sight of these charming surprises. And remember just how much joy there is in the smallest, silliest touches. 12. The Mosaic Memory Bench. And finally, let's wrap up our journey with something truly special, a mosaic memory bench. Picture an old wooden seat you might otherwise toss aside, now lovingly reborn with a patchwork of smooth pebbles, colorful tiles, and even broken bits of cherished ceramics. Each piece tells a quiet story. A chipped plate from family dinners, river stones gathered on a weekend hike, tiny tiles left over from your kitchen makeover. For those of you who keep pressed flowers inside books or save fallen leaves to mark changing seasons, this is your project. As you press each piece into grout, you're not just decorating, you're weaving moments of your life right into your garden's heart. Place your bench under an arch of potted jasmine or beside a row of bright impatiens, where you can sit with a cup of tea and admire all the memories laid out beneath you. Guests will love hearing the stories behind each colorful shard, and you'll be reminded every day how even life's little fragments can come together to create something beautifully whole. Heartfelt send-off. And there you have it, my dear friends. 12 wonderfully personal ways to turn simple stones into heartfelt works of art that fill your garden and home with stories, laughter, and quiet meaning. Maybe it's a spiral that whispers calm into your mornings, a wise pebble owl keeping gentle watch, or a mosaic bench that cradles years of family memories. For those of you who find pure joy in wiping dust off your philodendron leaves, or who grin each time a new sprout pokes up from your favorite pot, these projects are more than just pretty. They're extensions of your tender spirit. So go ahead, gather some stones, dip your brush, dream up your own designs. Watch how your garden transforms, not because it's perfect, but because it's yours, rich with personal touches that only your hands could create. And if this little journey stirred your imagination or made you smile, I'd love for you to subscribe to Earthly Delights so we can keep growing, crafting, and finding joy together. Until next time, keep seeing magic in the smallest things, and let your garden become a living, breathing story of who you are.